Hello and welcome to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's a Netflix series, the animated Netflix series called The Last Kids on Earth. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see a video pop up at the very end here. Basically, what YouTube does takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down there. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, you hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every Monday, of course, on that, or Tuesday, depending on when I get around to it. Sometimes I get busy at work. It happens. But I also have the links to all my social media there as well. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon. No tiers set up on the Patreon as of yet. I'm waiting until I hit 1,000 subs. That's my goal because I like to give you something if you're giving me money. That's how I want to work it. Also, I have the links to this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right, so let's go with the non-spoiler version. There's 2 seasons of this up on Netflix right now. Each season, I think, I think the first season has 11 episodes and the second season 10 episodes. And they're about half an hour long, somewhere around there. So what this is essentially an apocalyptic kind of thing. The monsters have come through a portal, taken over a small town. So there's monsters, zombies, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my. And we have our central character, Jack, who is living in a tree house, no parents. And, he's essentially by himself in the zombie apocalypse, or this apocalypse, if you will. And he kind of doesn't want to go it alone. He's an orphan, actually, and he's been adopted, but his adoptive parents are nowhere in the picture now at this point. And so he goes to find some friends of his that he thinks are still around, and of course have some camaraderie in that one. So that's what the whole setup of this is, the first season at least. And then also, what the fuck is going on? How do these monsters come through? Is everything affected? The zombies are actually the adults that they knew in the town, and so on and so forth. So you also have a kid named Quint, who is his best friend. It's Jack's best friend, and he's kind of the inventor of the group. And of course, he makes these far out inventions to help with the zombie thing, and basically get them through all kinds of stuff. Then there's Dirk. Dirk is kind of the dumb jock, strong guy. He's the big guy there. And then finally rounding out is June, who of course is Jack's crush, but she also is trying to figure out what the hell happened to her parents, right? So you got all that going on. And you're going to say, Dennis, well, why are you watching this? Is this a kid show? Yeah, it is a kid show for the most part, but the writing's actually really good. Plus the voice cast is really excellent as well. And honestly, the writing, the dialogue in it is actually pretty funny. They do a good job. So the voice cast that we've got here, the main cast of characters, you're not going to recognize the actors that are playing them. They're voice actors that do a lot of stuff like this. But you have a character named Thrall, who is voiced by Keith David. You'll recognize Keith David's voice as well as who Keith David is. He's been in genre quite a bit. Bartle is Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill actually voices the character Bartle, who is a magician and a monster. Scalia, excuse me, it's hard to pronounce her name, is voiced by Catherine O'Hara. Yes, the Catherine O'Hara of Schitt's Creek and other things as well. And Chef is voiced by Bruce Campbell. That's right. The Bruce Campbell is voicing Chef. Rezak is voiced by Rosario Dawson. So yeah, we actually have a good pedigree of names or voices that are actually voicing this. And they're voicing mainly the monsters is what they are voicing. So this is the non-spoiler version that I'm telling you. There's 2 seasons up here, and I'm not gonna tell you what happens because that would be a dick move on that one. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you've got kids, watch it. Not only will they enjoy it, but you'll enjoy it as well. There are some jokes in there that just, tickle your funny bone. I believe I said this before, in the 2nd season, there's a joke in there, um your mother dates jocks in Yale or something like that, which of course is taken from The Exorcist. Your mother sucks cocks in hell, which I thought was actually pretty fucking funny that the writers went that ballsy with it, no pun intended, to make that joke in a kid show when they knew adults are going to be watching this as well, with their kids, or if you're like me, just liking animated shit. And yeah, it just made me laugh. There's stuff like that that's in there, and you know that I think was probably one of the funniest lines in there. But still, good stuff. So is it worth your time? Yeah, it's worth your time if you enjoy um, some apocalyptic. There we go. If I can actually speak at this point, my tongue got all tied there for a second. Um, zombie action, monster action, uh, other dimensional, magic, supernatural, all that kind of stuff. That's what this is. That's what this has in there. And it's fun. Um, yeah, you get a lot of stuff out of it. There's a lot of different genres that are mixed in here, and they do a good job. And like I said, the writing's pretty damn good, and you get a top-notch voice cast as well. So with that said, spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil it from here on out. So if you haven't watched the series, which I know a lot of you haven't, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video, and you can comment down below in the comment section. All right. So, besides that, your mother dates jocks from Yale. Uh, there's other jokes in there too that were just making me laugh. Like at one point, Bruce Campbell's character and Mark Hamill's character are back to back, and Mark Hamill says, "I wish I had a chainsaw," and then Bruce Campbell says, "I wish I had a laser sword," which I thought was pretty fucking funny. And how did I actually come upon this? Well, one, it was an animated series, so it was already in my queue because Netflix knows I watch animated series all the time. So they popped it in there, and I was like, "All right, I'll give it a shot." And I watched it, and I dug it. It was pretty good. The first season, it was decent. And then I found out that Bruce Campbell was doing one of the voices, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I found out Mark Hamill was in it, and then so on and so forth. And I got more interested, and then the writing took hold, and yeah, it was actually pretty good. So yeah, and then plus you also have in the 2nd season here, things kinda get a little bit serious, even though it's the apocalypse, and June is trying to find her parents, so of course, they get a radio call. They first they get electricity up and all this stuff, and they get a radio call that there are other survivors out there. They thought they were the only survivors, and they're not. Um, and so it becomes a thing, are our parents alive? And Jack, the main character who we've, started off with, is kind of disappointed because he, of course, doesn't have parents. Well, he has adoptive parents, but he thinks that, he's been doing fun things with everyone in the apocalypse kind of stuff. And he thinks that's all going to end and everyone's going to go and be with their families and leave him alone again. So he has that whole issue going on in the 2nd season. And it's just one of those things that it's like, yeah, actually, you kind of layer some of the story in there, and they did a good job. They actually did a really good job. And it was accessible to kids as well as, interesting for adults as well. So really well done, and not boring. That's the whole thing. So, hey, Tony Hernandez, how's it going? What's J mean? Oh, you just want to go high and you miss hit the key. I see how it goes. I've done that too. So yeah, it's worth your time. Give it a shot. Yeah, the first couple episodes, are a little bit on the childish side, but like I said, it is a kids show primarily. It's not aimed at adults, but there is stuff in there for adults to actually enjoy. There really is. And yes, you have the zombie tropes, you get that in there, but there's also monster tropes too. And they play with that genre as well. You can tell the writers really like the horror genre and have played with it a bit, and the apocalypse genre, and play with that a bit as well. And then, of course, add in the kid stuff of creating, like, bubblegum guns and stuff like that. And so, you get the absurd aspect of it, but you also get, like I say, the pathos too in it, which is a good story. And I've said this time and time again, your story always relies on your writing. You have to have good writers that know what they're writing about and enjoy what they're writing about. Otherwise, you're not going to engage your audience at all. And also, you get good villains too. So, having Rosario Dawson as the villain, and I didn't realize it was her because the voice is so changed and deep that you don't realize that that's who it is. And at least I didn't until I looked at the cast list and I was like, holy shit, that's Rosario Dawson. And that was kind of cool, you know. And yeah, you have twists and turns within the story as well, especially in the first season. And also you have the monsters and the humans, the human kids at least, trying to come together, some agreement to work together, because of course these monsters, they can talk and everything, and they're not, all monsterish, if you will, typical monsters, if you will. Um, and yeah, they're as much a victim of what happened to them as this town is. So yeah, good stuff. It really is. Um, and fun, like I said, and something good for Halloween if you're, kind of bored on Halloween or something like that. Because, we're all quarantining, at least, we should be, especially with all the stuff that's been happening. This is always good to watch. And then you can always sprinkle in, Night of the Living Dead, uh, you know, insert your favorite Halloween movie from there. Yeah. So I got 5 people in here lurking around, and I know that 2 of them have spoken. What else is everyone looking forward to on Halloween? What are you guys watching? Or what's your go-to movie, I should say, for Halloween? Mine is either the original Night of the Living Dead, excuse me, George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, or the 1993 remake with Patricia Tallman in it. That one's always good as well. Also, for comedy, I like Dead Heat with Joe Piscopo and Treat Williams. It's from the 80s. That one's always a good one. I have that on disc someplace. And I'm trying to think what else, horror movie wise, that actually I really like. I like the really weird shit too. So Blood Diner is another 80s movie that's just fucking out there, but makes me laugh. And it's just really, it's one of those video movies that you kind of look at and you're like, what the fuck is this? And you pop it in and you start laughing and also cringing at the same time because there's a lot of gory effects and stuff like that. It's about 2 brothers that are cannibals, and they also open up a diner. That's why it's called Blood Diner, and they're trying to resurrect a Sumerian god or goddess by bringing people in, killing them, and then serving them to other people. Yeah, that's it's always good that way. But yeah, one of my favorite scenes in it is one of the brothers is driving a van, and there's a biker who's flipping him off or something like that, and so the brother hits the biker, and he's playing on the radio is Papa Loves Mambo. Weird song, yeah, just out there. But he runs over the biker and he's like all happy, and he goes, and the biker gets up like nothing happened, kind of like dusts himself off. It's like, fuck you, man. And so what does the brother do? He puts it in reverse and like hits him again. The biker gets up again. He's like, fuck you, man. And so he just keeps riding back and forth over this biker. And it's stupid, but it's also fucking funny and just weird. And that's what the entire movie is pretty much about. It's like that. It's weird, funny, and then also there's gory stuff too. And the biker, he's got this eye hanging out at one point, and his entrails are coming out. Yeah, it's all kinds of different, levels there. But that's a different story altogether. But since I figured we're coming up on Halloween anyway, why not? And I'll probably be talking more about it on Saturday with Saturday Morning Blast Off, considering that is Halloween. Speaking of which, what's coming up? What's coming up next here? Tomorrow is going to be the season 2 premiere, I should say, of The Mandalorian. That's right, episode 1 hits. Yes, episode 1 of The Mandalorian. And yes, I will be covering it. Saturday will be the aforementioned Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and the genre stuff you guys want to talk about when we talk about it. And yes, we're going to be talking about Halloween stuff, mostly because it is Halloween. And that's always a good time to talk about Halloween, right? Sunday is going to be episode 3 of Hellstrom, and we'll see if the shit continues, which I think it does. Because I'm getting close to like ending that whole thing of not doing it anymore. We'll see what happens. Monday I'll be off. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's the Amazon series Truth Seekers with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, which is going to be debuting on Friday. There we go. Wednesday I'll be off, and then Thursday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but we'll figure it out as we go along. Because that's how shit rolls around here. Yeah. So what I might as well just, we're getting ready to sign off here. I'm tired. I'm sorry. I had a full day of work and I am out of it, quite honestly. So I'm gonna let you guys go for the night. But before I do, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. If you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendofanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule that's up there, and all the links to my social media are up there as well. So thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. I will see you guys again tomorrow for Mando Season 2, Episode 1. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may see a portal open up over your city and monsters may drop through and all hell breaks loose. And you really don't want that. It's just not good, especially since it just brings down the property values. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, and take care. Have a good night, everyone.